Another DJ BrewTube beer review. You see what bottles are out. That's right. You see the hat. It's more beer from DogFish Head Crab Brewery out of Milton, Delaware, US of A. Yay, yay. So you know what that means. It's time for DJ to go local. That's right, guys. We're going local yet again with another DogFish Head beer. And what beer do we have from them today? We have one that's new. That's right. Well, kind of new-ish. We'll get to that in a second. And what beer is it? Is their Suddenly Comfy Imperial Cream Ale. As the name suggests, it's an Imperial Cream Ale. Kinda. We'll get into that in a second, too. It's a limited serving. It clocks in at 8.0% ABV and 20 IBUs. Now, this is a DogFish Head beer, right? So you know it's got some adjuncts up in here. Especially if they're saying like Imperial Cream Ale, and I'm saying ish. Why am I saying ish? Because this beer is sort of a hybrid. Why is that? Because it's got apple juice in it. So in homebrew land, we know something called an apple graft. That's right. When you're making a mix between a beer and a cider at the same time, that's a graft. Apple graft. So in this beer, besides apple juice, they're also using Saigon cinnamon, Madagascar vanilla beans, and allspice. That sounds like fall in a bottle. That's the kind of dessert I dig into. I'm not a pie eater, but I do drink beer. Huh, surprise. DJs BrewTube? Yeah. Anyway, so this beer started out, as I was kind of alluding to, that it's new-ish. It started out as a tasting room edition that everybody really liked. I think I may have had it. I can't remember. I've been to the tasting room at the brewery a bunch of times. And back in the day, this was a 6%-ish sort of range beer, but now it's 8. So that's what I know about the brew. Besides that, it is 5 days old at time of recording. And that means it's time to pop the top, get in the snap top, and tell you what's up with Suddenly Comfy Imperial Cream Ale from DogFish Head. Boom, gigantor hiss off the top, tons of cannon smoke, and, of course, obsessively collectible DogFish Head crown. And I can smell caramel and apple just blasting off the top of this with a cannon smoke rolling off as I talk near the bottle. Man, I must be a lot of hot air. Well, not a surprise. Yeah, anyways, let's get in the glass. Look at that deliciousness. All right, well, hopefully anyway. Haven't tasted yet. So, let's talk about the appearance. It's a super clear apple juice kind of color. I'd say like a caramel sort of color. It had a one-finger head that faded down really quickly to a half finger when I swirl it. We get bubble regeneration of those super tightly packed sort of eggshell-colored bubbles, and there's tons and tons of alcohol just clanging on the inside of that glass. Look at that beautiful brew there. You know what? It's pretty. But it better smell good, too. So let's dive in for that aroma. Yeah. Up front, first thing you're getting hit with is apple. Then like a sort of crusty aroma. Maybe they use some Munich malt in this. They didn't say anything about any like flavorings or anything like that. Pie crusty. After that, vanilla's large. Cinnamon's right after that, and then a good hit of allspice in the end. If I didn't know it was allspice, I might say that it's like cloviness from a yeast ester. It's got that type of smell to it, but it smells like a spicier end sort of apple pie, or maybe a pumpkin beer. The aromas in here are pumpkin beer-esque. It just doesn't have that gourdy, buttery pumpkin aroma that you get from pumpkin beer. Man, it smells delicious. Not a hint of alcohol on the aroma. Let's dive in. Cheers! Nice. Wow, that's pretty cool. I was worried that it would be a lot more sweet than it is. It comes off sort of as a Belgian-esque kind of beer because I think that the allspice in there is giving us sort of that Belgian yeast estery sort of thing that creature in our beer throws into Belgian beers. And the apple juice is giving it that sort of like vinous kind of thing that goes on in a Belgian beer too. That crispiness because they put sugar in there. You know, in a lot of Belgian beers they're using brewing sugar or maybe honey sometimes. And it'll give it that little thinnerness to the body. It's got a medium body too. It's not watery or anything like that. Lots of nice apple flavor and cinnamon. The vanilla is definitely present as well. If that vanilla flavor would last or not, I'm not sure. But right now, it's quite present. The apple flavor is there. This is really pumpkin pie-ish in the glass. And in the back end, like the final, I guess the cream ale notes are showing, and you get that graham crackery sort of crust in the back end. I almost wish they'd maybe hit this off with a little bit of lactose. That would have that like pumpkin pie creaminess to it that I think would complement the vanilla. But that said, for a straight up brew with just spices added to it and apple juice, this could have gone really off the tracks and sucked. They amped it up a little bit. I get a little bit of warming in the chest. There's not boozy flavor really to me. For some people maybe, but I'm used to drinking big boozy brews anyway, so this one isn't, giving that note to me, but tasty just the same. So let's grade it. At time of recording, Beer Advocate is giving this 4.07 out of 5. So that's A to A minus range for those guys. Maybe like a 90 or so. And Untapped is giving this 3.96 out of 5. I'd say that's definitely an A for those guys. And, when am I going to grade this? Let me take another taste here. The only thing I'm wanting for, like I said, in this beer is maybe a hit of lactose to give it that little bit of a sweetness to round off the edges of those kind of like vinous notes and also complement the vanilla. But it's very competently done. I'm going to go just into my A range. I'm going to give it a 94. Super tasty beer. Very well made. It may sell her well. I don't know. But as it is now, it's tasting good. Yum. So, have you had Dogfish Head Craft Brewery Suddenly Comfy Imperial Cream Ale? If you have, let me know what you know, because I like to quid pro quo and the back and forth. I also really like it when you do me a great big favor and think locally, drink locally, and support the craft beer movement. And it's exceedingly cool when you do me another favor and you rate, comment, subscribe, especially if it's your first time with us. And if you can get around to it, you know you got to hook me up. That's right. By doing what? Pushing those Google metrics up in the stratosphere by, yes, smashing that like button. Because that, along with one, maybe 2 bottles of Suddenly Comfy Imperial Cream Ale from Dogfish Head Craft Brewery is all I'm going to need to put my big-ass local beer-drinking happy face on. So the next DJs BrewTube, I got nothing but a hell of a bunch of Suddenly Comfy beer-drinking feelings and love for you, and you know what's coming for you by now. That's right, a big-ass t-shirt!